called Saturday Night Fever, and it stars a young John Travolta. This is immediately post Welcome Back Kotter fame, when he's Vinnie Barbarino. We'll talk about Welcome Back Kotter a little bit later when we go into Bensonhurst, which is the setting of Welcome Back Kotter. And Travolta...
What's the theme song from Welcome Back Kotter?
I don't know, what is it?
I don't remember.
I don't know it.
Welcome.
No, I was thinking that.
That's something else.
That's definitely something else.
Sorry to be.
I'm thinking about the bass song.
We'll get that later.
Welcome back, after he becomes a preacher. So Travolta just comes on the scene, and he plays a character named Tony Manero, who's a 19-year-old guy. He's sort of floundering. He works at the hardware store, carrying paint. He's not really happy, but at night, he really gets to express himself at Palladium Disco, which is the hub of disco activity for the Italian community here in Bay Ridge.
And therefore the world.
And the world. And he meets, at the dance studio, which is where we're going to finish he meets a young woman named Stephanie. He becomes enamored of her, but she has big dreams. She has dreams of not just taking over the Bay Ridge disco scene, but going across the river and really taking the whole city by storm. And she kind of captivates him and takes him with her on this fantastic journey. Saturday Night Fever is just emblematic. You know, you have the Bee Gees doing the soundtrack, the Disco Kings. You have that first scene which we talk about. There's only a couple things actually in Bay Ridge before we go to Bensonhurst. We're going to see here the hardware store where he actually works. It's not the same hardware store, but it is still a hardware store owned by different management. And then we're going to see where he lives, where he grows up, where he does that famous scene where he's combing his hair. Just a little background about Bay Ridge. When the Dutch settled here, they found the village of Brooklyn in the 1640s. This is far south of Brooklyn, and they call this area Yellow Hook, because if you've looked at a map of Brooklyn, it kind of hooks around. And that's why it's called Bay Ridge, because it's the ridge of Brooklyn on the bay. But the reason why it's not called Yellow, and it was called Yellow Hook because there was this really yellow soil here. The reason it stopped being called Yellow Hook is come the 18th century, cholera and yellow fever set in. So it was kind of like green, you know, Iceland. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to have a negative connotation because it was rife with yellow fever. So it got renamed Bay Ridge. So let's first check out the hardware store, then we'll go to Aloha Grinds, which I'm really excited